want to start out with something complicated, this just has the word lie in it. Lie, lie, lie. You could do that. You can do that under Mass. You have to be extra loud so we can hear you. Let's give it a try. Ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la lie, ya la lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la lie, ya la lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, ya lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la la la. Kiva moed. Kiva moed.
The time is now.
Kiva moed. Kiva moed. Kiva moed. Clapping is encouraged. Ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la lie, ya la lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la lie, ya la lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, ya lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la 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 lie. Kiva moed. Kiva moed. Kiva moed. Kiva moed. Bring it home, ya lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la lie, ya la lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la lie, ya la lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya lie, ya lie, ya lie, la lie, lie, ya la 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 lie. Kiva moed. Kiva moed. Kiva moed. Kiva moed. You guys sound and look fantastic. We're going to sing Hine Matov, words that you know already, I bet, because it's good that we all get to be together. And there's a little English part where you just have to repeat after us. So it's in English. You'll get it. It goes like this. Hine Matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Repeat after me. How good,
How good
it is
it is
to be together. How good it is to be together. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's 6 woes in case you don't want to do math tonight. Just when we get to that, you'll do that part. And it goes much faster. Here we go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam. Much louder, come on. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is to be together. How good it is to be together. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
So, for those night, and over the last few months that they've been with us for Friday night services. We've had one Friday night service starting back in June per month, live at Temple Bethany, as we were hoping to get back to normal by now. And that didn't quite happen. We thought, like most people in this country, that people would get vaccinated, they'd be able to start returning back to life in communities and congregations, families, schools would be able to get back to normal. And of course, many of us, most of us, went through vaccinations, took the health protocols seriously, and then sure enough, we are here the day after Labor Day, the first day of Rosh Hashanah, Jewish New Year, and we find it not quite back to normal. And all the planning that we did, every synagogue around the country, around the world did, all the planning that every school did, that every community civic organization did, they've had to break out. And what we found over this last year and now year and a half is that even with all of our technology, with all of our knowledge, with all of our capabilities, there are things that we have very little control over. And if COVID's proven anything to us, it's that we still are very much at the mercy of events and things that are out of our control. And sometimes people attribute that to God, and sometimes people attribute that to random chance. Sometimes we go back and forth between what we think and where we think these things are coming from. But in a nutshell, we learn what we learn every year at Rosh Hashanah, which is why we get together and we pray and we hope and wish for a good new year. We don't know what's going to happen. And that sense of fragility and that sense of uncertainty is with us every single year at Rosh Hashanah. It's the theme of these holidays, of this time. And so this year in particular, we understand that, and we come together with a sense of appreciation for the fact that a lot of hard work, a lot of adaptation, and a lot of hard work that we're together. And so for the people who are with us now, and for every person who's sitting in this room, there are about 10 people that are watching with us live right now. And so we have a community that's both here, and it's also both, in some cases, sitting on a couch, or sitting in their beds, or wherever they are. But you're with us here tonight too. We feel your presence. And we are grateful for all those who made Temple Bethany their home for the beginning of this year. And so as we begin officially with the lighting of the holiday candles, which you can find in your Moxor on page 3, and for those who are at home, you can download and view the Moxor that we put together 20 years ago. You can find it on your iPads or on your other devices, or maybe you have one screen for your Moxor and the other screen for watch us. However you want to do it. Take a moment to help us bring in candles, and maybe you can do it on too, if you have candles on you. I want to ask my wife, Tracy, to come up to light candles along with Abby. And I want if we could just have a moment to recognize the fact that it's my anniversary today.
Oh my
It's her
gosh.
anniversary today. It's 28 years, and it's been a very exciting year, like everybody's year. And so, what do you find out during COVID? You also find out whether you can survive with your partner. And so how do you feel?
La, 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 la.
Thanks to Judaism, you got to spend your anniversary with us tonight.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Maybe you were with Beth on me for the first time tonight. Us too for High Holy Days, and it feels like a big deal. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, I guess. You know, I hope this goes well. You know, I'm sure it will. But this song really speaks, as the rabbi just said, to us beginning something together, a journey, a time together. And for Addie and I, really, when we lead these kinds of things, it's all about singing. It's all about creating moments together through our voices. It's a little bit challenging to do that with masks on, but I know you guys can do it. And so I just want to let you know that 99% of everything that we're singing with you through High Holy Days is meant to be sung together. It's meant to be with your voices too. That's so important to us. So if you know the song, please sing. If you don't know the song, also please sing. And if you find that the person next to you is not singing louder than you, please kind of nudge them and go, hey, shouldn't you be singing louder than me right now? Let's just approach all of the music that we share together with that kind of idea so we can create some awesome moments together. The song is really easy. It's got a little refrain that goes like this.
Come, let yourself be known. Come, it's already begun. Come, let yourself be known. Come, it's already begun. Come, let yourself be known. Come, it's already begun. Come, let yourself be known. Come, it's already begun. Come along, come with fears, come with love. just come along. Come with friends, come with folks, come however you are. Just come let yourself belong. Come, it's already begun. Come let yourself belong. Come, it's already begun. Come along, come with me and let go. Come however you are. Just come along. Come so carefully close. Come however you are. Just come let yourself belong. Come, it's already begun. Come let yourself belong. Come, it's already begun. Come along, come with sorrows and songs. Come however you are. Just come along. Come with yourself. Come however you are. Just come let yourself belong. Come, it's already begun. Come let yourself belong. Come, it's already
Just your
begun.
voices.
Come let yourself
You can give us a little more.
come let yourself come, it's already
One last time.
come let yourself belong. Come, it's already begun.
5. We ask everyone to rise for the following. Kids now. Rosh Hashanah, the reading of the New
Page 1 of the song sheet. Roll into dawn,
Roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Oreon balayla, kolelo lipe Rosha, kolelo lipe Rosha, Rosha lipe. Roll into dawn, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night.
every day that ceases here.
We are on page number 6 for Ahavat Olam, prayer about how much God loves us.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shaltenu, kumeinu nasiach bechukecha, ונזרוק בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Page 7 with Shema Ve'ahavta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
As we continue on page 8 with Mi Chamocha, the song of redemption, the song of freedom.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netar b'kodesh, lo ra tehilot or sefeleh. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
On page 9, as we continue with Hashkivenu, the melody that was composed by Craig Talbot, prayer for peace, for safety, for security, protection from illness, and more.
Shalom, 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 shalom. You could just sing this the whole time. Shalom, 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 shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Shalom, shalom, shalom,
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom,
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
So I'll tell you, it's the first time Temple Beth and me has ever streamed services tonight. And so again, learning, adapting. Just so you know, no one on camera, watching on the camera right now can hear what I'm saying. So just so you understand, that's what we're trying to fix right now. And this is why I don't like technology. They can hear it, Rick and Addie, perfectly, which is important for right now. We'll fix this for the people who are watching me right now and are just seeing. I'm gonna mime the rest of the time. I've been working on my.
Should we start from the beginning?
Do you want to come use our microphone right now?
The rest of the time.
It's not High Holy Days without Mum and Chance.
So we're going to be doing the. I'll come a little bit closer here so you can hear on it. We're going to be doing the Amidah tonight, and this is already a little bit of a tough thing to do for those who are at home because, of course, this is a standing prayer. That's part of it, but also this is partly a silent prayer, right? So we always use this time to pray silently. And what we found, of course, is that praying at home, giving people silent time to pray at home, doesn't really work. So when we do the Amidah, for example, on our Friday night services that we're streaming or that we're putting out, we don't really do silent prayer, which we're supposed to do some silent prayer at least once a day, maybe 3 times a day. And so we're going to do it. And again, for those who are at home, you're not hearing me anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's silent sermon too. So you're going to take a moment during the Amidah on pages 12 through 14 for the Machzor. We're not going to be doing those out loud. We're going to do the beginning of the Amidah and then continue silently for the evening Amidah prayer for Rosh Hashanah, the text, the traditional text is there for you. And of course, use this time for our own private prayer, the Tefillat Alev, the prayer from inside. So for those who are at home, please take this time to also pray silently. If you can, take a moment in silence. We usually don't watch TV in silence. Silent TV is usually, that's dead time they call it, so it's not, you don't want that. But we're going to do a little bit, and then we'll come back together again out loud. The words we're going to begin with, the Kavanah for the Amidah, again, a melody that Craig Talman composed. So this is one that we've done before. But again, it kind of gets us into the mood for the Amidah for the first time. This is our first Amidah of a new year. So this is our first time really entering this foundational, focal part of our service. So we're going to do that now. And again, special melodies and special insertions for the high holidays that hopefully you'll remember. And we're going to now pray the Amidah together. So we'll ask everyone to rise.
וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, נלך חפש בחיים בחוטבינו. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אב הרחמים, זוכר צורה לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני
מחיי הכל.
Continue silently. Please be seated when you're done with your private prayer. Page 14. In the book of life and blessing, peace and prosperity, may we and all your people, the house of Israel, be inscribed for a good and peaceful life. Praised are you, God, the source of peace.
Page 2 of your song sheet.
Space given this time, given to all, uniquely mine. Given this space, given this time, given to all, uniquely mine. Every breath, each life, each spark, every light that emerges from every dark, this body, this voice, this energy. I just opened my eyes, it was granted to me. Given this space, given this time, given to all, uniquely mine. Given this space, given this time, given to all, uniquely mine.
Every first and every last, all of the future, the present, and even the past, I am awake. this space, given this time, given to all, uniquely mine. There is a love song of taking and giving, of singing and dancing and being with all that is living. It's breathing out and breathing in, a life that is taken and granted again and again. Given this space, given this time, given to all, uniquely mine. Given this space, given this time, given to all, uniquely mine.
It's a great song, melody written by Ellen Dreskin and Dan Nichols, who we're going to sing a Dan Nichols song tomorrow as well, a song that we heard a couple of weeks ago to get you in the mood, get you ready to sing tomorrow one of Dan's songs. So again, we're bringing in some of the great musicians, some of the great composers of Jewish music over these last years, and bringing the new year with a sense of some new things and some traditional things. But this year, as we celebrate Rosh Hashanah, in the midst of a global pandemic, on top of political situations around the world that are ghastly, horrific, it's safe to say the last few years have been pretty bad. That's not a very profound statement. It's not a political statement. It's not really an opinion. Just a couple weeks ago, we had a magnitude 7.2 earthquake in Haiti that killed over 2,200 people. And it's like just another thing. 2,200 people. It destroyed 50,000 homes. We've had hurricanes across our country that have claimed lives again. Hurricane Ida, and now we've got Hurricane Larry coming on the up the coast. These are every one of us has Jewish aunts and uncles named Ida and Larry. I think the next hurricane is going to be Hurricane Mendel or something. They're just making it too Jewish. But it's terrible. I mean, one thing after another, we just keep getting hit. And again, in the midst of a pandemic that in some cases seems worse today than it did 6 months ago or a year ago. Just so you understand what's going on right now, and you hear it, but I want you to know, this last week, I performed my 71st funeral during this calendar year. Not since last holidays, it's even more, but since January. And I mark these things in my head on the secular year, not the calendar year, for various reasons, but mainly for my computer, because I can't set my computer to Jewish New Year's and have it tell me how many people died during this last year. But that's 71. I normally have 50 funerals for a whole year, so do the math. It'll be twice as many. And just so you know, the last 3 funerals and the next 3 funerals that I'm doing are all for people that died of COVID, including last week a 52-year-old woman from Santa Clarita, and next week a 44-year-old woman from the Valley, San Fernando Valley, who died of COVID. So understand that this is really as bad as you're hearing, and for me, not even close to what I dealt with last year. Nowhere near as many deaths from COVID. And these are people who've been vaccinated. These are people who've been wearing masks. So things are tough. And I just talked with, I haven't greeted her yet, but I saw Randy walk in. Randy Miller is a nurse out in Antelope Valley, and she's a pediatric nurse. And she just told me that on the phone that she's got now pregnant women coming in with COVID, babies being born early. Now, thankfully, she told me that these babies have been born and they've been okay. And it reminds us that at the same hospitals that are treating COVID, that there are babies being born. And that even as people are breathing their last breath, new life is coming into existence. And it's cliche to say this is the cycle, the circle of life, but it's so powerfully true that life goes on. Babies will be born, and life begins anew. And this is one of the lessons we're reminded of every Rosh Hashanah. This year, perhaps even more. And many would say, even if they didn't have the courage to say it out loud, that in light of recent events, what's the point of bringing new life into such a destructive world? To subject another generation to catastrophe, both man-made and natural, to the uncertainty of such a world where these events can occur. Why would someone do this? And I know people say it. They say it to me and they don't say it to me. But they look at me and say it. But I would say that against this doom, that we are, believe it or not, doing better. That recent generations are actually reaching closer to realizing the truest potential of humanity. Because I want you to consider this. Some of you maybe saw last night the story on 60 Minutes about these amazing soldiers from the United States. People like, I saw Francine walk in here tonight, her father, Max Gross of blessed memory, who were German and Austrian Jews who went back as young people and helped liberate and free the entire European continent of the Nazis during World War II. That's 75 years ago, and thankfully some of these people are still alive. We're recognizing these amazing heroes. 75 years ago, Europe was emerging from death and destruction. And Asia, the scope and the death that happened in China and in East Asia, we don't even understand it. Just as the world was learning about the death camps and what went on in China during World War II, the murder of millions upon millions of people, that was 75 years ago. And 50 years ago, as we were just reminded, as we watched our troops leave Afghanistan, that 50 years ago, tens of thousands of American soldiers died in Vietnam, in Southeast Asia, as well as millions of innocent civilians. And at that time, 50 years ago, that was only one of several regional conflicts that was going on simultaneously as part of the Cold War. When it comes to the wholesale slaughter of individuals, the devastation of entire continents, can we truly compare the world we live in now to the one that existed 2 generations ago? I firmly believe that my children have been born into a safer place than my father was. My father and his father before him made sure that I would live in a less violent world than the one that they were born into. Indeed, a healthier world. Because my grandfather was born as a little child when the last pandemic was killing millions upon millions of people, the Spanish flu. And I pray that my children will make sure that the next generation will be born into an even better world. Every generation owes it to the next. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. Never again shall they train for war. The prophet Micah spoke those words 3,000 years ago. A vision of a world without a standing military, without professional soldiers, in a state like we have today still of constant readiness. A vision of a world where a mother would never again have to worry about her son or now daughter dying on some faraway shore. A vision of a world at peace. We're clearly not there yet. However, each baby, each new life represents potential A new generation that will, God willing, do a little bit better. A new generation that much closer to redemption. We know this instinctively as a Jewish people. As we celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the birthday of humanity, may we truly see this year as a chance, as a potential for new life, for new possibilities. May this be a beginning of a good and blessed, a much better new year. And may we see the birth of this year, the blessing of even greater potential. L'Shana Tova, may this be a year filled with goodness. And I want to tell you, as we think about the ways that we're going to bring goodness into our world, we're going to take a moment to pray for health, to pray for healing. We're going to take a moment to say the Misha Barach prayer, which you can find on page 15 in the Machzor. We've been doing a couple different prayers for healing over this last year. We've been praying for a lot of healing. We've been doing the melody written by Todd Herzog, which you can see in your song sheet. We're going to do that tomorrow. So for the people that like the Misha Barach Debbie Friedman version, we're going to do that tonight. For those that love the Todd Herzog version, El Na Rafan Allah, we're going to do that tomorrow. Look, we could do just those two prayers constantly and just pray for healing. That might not be such a bad idea this year. But tonight we're going to sing the Misha Barach on page 15, this blessing of healing. And again, we're thinking of all those that are battling illness right now, that are battling COVID, but so many other things that people are battling. We can't forget that in the midst of something that everyone's been talking about. There's a lot of other people that are still fighting those things that we've always been fighting. So we take a moment and bring them into our minds and into our hearts now as we pray for healing and for the strength and courage as we face illness.
May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Page 16, we come to the Aleinu, one of our final prayers, reminding us again, as you can see the words of Micah down below there, this vision of tomorrow, a world where humanity will be one. We ask you to rise for Aleinu on page 16.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'cho hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומשה יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, ידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We ask you to remain standing as we turn to page 17 for the mourner's Kaddish, the Kaddish of Remembrance. As we mourn over this last year, this last Hashanah, passing of Shirley Karp, May Goodson, Helen Larner, Harvey Hasten, Linda Olis, Bud Schaefer, Victoria Rothschild, Rose Miller, Philip Sakertoff, David Watson, Vivian Terrigan, Joseph Gould, and we mourn the passing in this past weekend from COVID, Miriam Bear. There are many people, again, that we can remember during this time. We're going to be coming up to the Yizkor prayers in a week and at Yom Kippur. But between now and then, I ask you to also remember to take in your mind right now the thousands of Americans who were the victims of terror at this time of year 20 years ago. And so as we come to Kaddish on page 17, as we remember our loved ones of blessed memory, those who've perished, mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and we say together, amen. Amen. Please be seated, everyone. So we had no idea how many people were going to be here tonight, honestly. We kind of were guessing. Harvey and I were talking about it even up till a few minutes before. I figured that we'd have about 40 people here, and we've exceeded that. Look, this year nobody should judge how many people come to synagogue on how a synagogue is doing, because most importantly, anybody who's at risk at all right now, I'm asking you to please not be a hero, and please stay at home. So if you're watching us online, and if you're watching us from your homes, and wherever you are, please, again, be safe. And again, we're glad that you're doing what you need to do to stay safe. That being said, tomorrow, like we did today, we're going to start on time, because for those who are logging on, you're waiting for us, and it's not fun to look at a blank screen. So we're not starting on Jewish Standard Time, as you found tonight. And we're also, because we're online, online, and because most people are not here in this room, and I don't know, because we're trying to adapt to the realities of this, the service is going to be much shorter tomorrow. So for those of you who sometimes roll in an hour later, you will miss 80, I promise you'll miss 80% of the service tomorrow. So I don't know exactly how long it'll be, but don't come an hour and a half late, because it may be an empty room by then. So we start tomorrow at 10 a.m. So a little bit later, you get to rest a little bit longer. 10 a.m., I get to rest a little bit. Again, be with us here or virtually wherever you are. That's what we're doing tomorrow. And again, there probably will be more people here tomorrow. So we have more than enough room. That's why we did it here and not at Beth Ami. A lot of people said, well, you can fit this many people at Beth Ami, but not with some social distance tonight. We're also, as you're going to see, not doing our Kiddush and Hamotzi in the normal way. We do have a challah we're going to say Hamotzi over, make Kiddush, but we're not sharing that tonight. We have pre-wrapped honey cake and apples and honey for those who are here. If you're at home, you got to do your own thing, but we're not going to make you watch us eat, but we hope that you do something to have some sweetness, whatever it is. Do something, eat something that is supposed to have sweetness. We had apples and honey because that was what people, and most of us who have Ashkenazi ancestors, that was a nice treat for this time of year, for the fall, beginning of fall. Whatever you have that's sweet at home, it could be a Pop-Tart. Maybe you want a Pop-Tart for, I don't know, a Zinger maybe. And you can have something sweet for the new year to start it off nice. And the next day, for the second day of Rosh Hashanah, instead of having our services back at our shul the second day, which is what we normally do, we're actually going to be doing a service outside. So for people who are watching us right now, or for people who are here right now, who would feel more comfortable being outside, you're going to get your wish. Because at 11 o'clock, we're going to be over by Bridgeport by the marketplace, not the place where people live. Let me make that very clear. They don't want us in their place. For those of you that are watching from Bridgeport, you're behind your gates right now and you're protected, and we're not coming there. We're going to be at Bridgeport Marketplace, and we're going to feed your ducks, but not bread, because I know you get very mad if we feed them bread. We're feeding them what we're allowed to feed them, which is like Cheerios. So we have that. We're going to do tashlich with Cheerios for the people, for those people in Bridgeport who are going to worry about us feeding their ducks. So come there at 11 o'clock. We're going to have Rick and Addie. They're going to lead us in Tashlich, and we're going to hear the sound of the shofar. So we're going to blow the shofar tomorrow. We have our shofar service tomorrow, and we're also going to blow the shofar at Bridgeport Marketplace so that everyone in Santa Clarita can hear the sound of the shofar from that central location. So please join us for that at 11 o'clock. You can even grab a lunch afterwards if you want. I'm not encouraging any place in particular, but you can eat whatever you want in the Bridgeport Marketplace to have some fun too. But please join us for that. And then Yom Kippur, we're going to be for Kol Nidre. We're going to be in our building, and then we're going to be back here for Yom Kippur morning. I know that's a little confusing, but we are going to do services Kol Nidre at our place. We're also, though, by the way, breaking the fast and finishing Yom Kippur at our place as well. I don't know really where I'm looking at, or I'm looking at the cameras, but we have a chance to do different things for High Holidays this year. Please join us tomorrow. We'll be live at 10 a.m., and you can watch it afterwards too, but it's the joy of it live, where things are going wrong right in front of you, that you'll only enjoy if you're watching live. Now, we're probably not going to edit it anyway, so you'll watch it on going wrong tape too. Anyways, we're going to finish up in here with our last couple of things. And I want to thank again Rick and Addie for leading services and for getting us in the mood of this new year and really helping us feel good. I feel much better. I hope you do too. I hope everyone does, because this High Holidays, we're definitely trying to get us into the right frame of mind. It's not going to happen overnight. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and everyone's going to be cured, and we're not going to think about it. That would be perfect. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a good frame of mind to go into this new year, whatever challenges are ahead. So we're going to sing a prayer for peace, and I think everyone knows this is kind of a song that we oftentimes sing at services. You don't even need to look in your machzor because, well, you could. It's at the end of Kaddish. It's back right on page 17. But words that you know pretty well. So, say shalom. Help us, God, make peace. This melody you may not remember, you may not have sung before, but maybe you did, I hope. So we're going to finish up with this prayer for peace.
Yeah, I just wanted to encourage the people at home to maybe upload videos of them eating the honey cake so we could all enjoy them together. And also, it says in the Torah that unless you sing the last song really loud, you aren't given honey cake here in person. So that's a fact. Rabbi, I'm sure, will back that up. So here we go. The clapping part isn't in the words, but here we go. Say shalom bimroma, Booyah, say shalom. Say shalom bimroma, Booyah, say shalom. Oh, say shalom bimroma, Booyah, say shalom aleinu. Ya say shalom, ya say shalom, shalom aleinu. That's the whole thing, you know it now. If you want your honey cake, you gotta be a lot louder. Here we go. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Booyah, say shalom. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Booyah, say shalom. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Booyah, say shalom aleinu. Ya say shalom, ya say shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya say shalom, ya say shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya say shalom, ya say shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya say shalom, ya say shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shana Tova.
Everyone can stand up, rise. We are going to eat outside, right? Our food is outside, so you can go outside. And if you're watching at home, I guess you can go outside too. But but you're not going to have any honey cake outside unless you do have honey cake outside. Which would be weird.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'gafim. We actually have a honey cake tree in our backyard in New Home. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz shana tova.
So, as we eat the honey cake and take a little piece of sweetness with us, we have a special wish for everyone. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu shetechadesh aleinu shana tova metuka. May it be your will, our God and God of our ancestors, to bring us into this year filled with goodness and sweetness. L'shana tova tikatevu. May you have a great, sweet, and healthy new year, everyone. Shana tova.